Welcome to today's Anne's Talk with Anne Spirit. Today we're not playing small today. We're going to go really deep into the places where love once felt unsafe, where closeness came at a cost, and where some part of you decided, I'll survive, but I won't open fully again. This is mindset work. This is soul recalibration. We're working with the parts of you that learn to guard, to sacrifice, to stay silent, and we're inviting them into truth, into safety, and into love. You don't need fixing anything. You just breathe, stay with your body, and let your inner parts hold you, and your spirit team if you wish. This is sacred, raw, powerful work, and your heart is ready. If you're here, you're listening to this, it's really ready. And if this resonates with you, please hit subscribe so you never miss a session, because every week we go deep into love, worth, visibility, wealth, and having spirit-led tools to bring you home to who you really are. There's many parts within us that shape how we experience love and relationships, and often those parts are in conflict, or maybe one part might crave deep intimacy, soulful connection, and yet the other part fears abandonment, betrayal, and just being too much. So these internal parts carry the imprints of our past, our childhood wounds, our ancestral patterns, our cultural conditioning, and also the echoes of relationships that have left a mark on us. Sometimes we're led by the part that just wants to be chosen, even if it means self-abandonment. And other times, we protect ourselves so fiercely that no one can reach us. I know this only too well. What could happen is in every moment of relating, different parts can take the mic. The romantic part, dreams of devotion and magic and those candlelit dinners, and the vigilant part scans for danger. So the inner part, the inner child, might long to be held, while that inner critic really tightens control and is whisper, don't get too attached, you'll get hurt. And the parts that's done years of healings, that they just want to be met in truth. When we don't consciously work with these parts, they run our relationships. They create those dynamics of sabotage cycles, emotional shutdown, bringing in the same kind of people, same relationships. Real love, conscious love, invites you to bring all of these parts to the table, not to fix them or silence them, but to just see them, to listen, to ask what they need to feel safe. Because love isn't just about merging with another. It's about integrating the fragmented parts within ourselves so that we can relate from wholeness, not hunger, or even anger in some stages. Because when we do this, love becomes less about proving, performing, protecting, and safety, and more about presence, about truth, and about co-creation. And we're going to really do parts therapy today. We're going to ask those parts to come forward. So first of all, what I'd like you to do is just take a moment to close your eyes if you can. If you're obviously driving a car, you can't do this. But just listen to 5 different sounds. So we need to center the self first. And take nice big deep breaths in. And any stress, any tenseness, any frustration that we feel in the body, just allow it to just breathe out with a sigh. All the while listening for those 5 different sounds. One of those sounds could be my voice. And just breathe. Okay. And now what you're just going to ask, because your unconscious mind is actually listening to me, conscious also, So we're asking the unconscious, is there a part of you that fears love or closeness? And just listen. Listen for the answers that's coming through. I'm going to do it with you. So I'll do it in real time with you. And I'll give you my answer. Everybody's answers will be different. So is there a part of you that fears love or closeness? Is there a part of you that fears love or closeness? And you may just get a yes or no. And if we've set up somatic, if you've got a somatic yes and no, use that. You're just asking, is there a part of you that fears love and closeness? Yeah, you just get a yes or no answer at this stage. So when did love first become unsafe, unavailable, or conditional? When did love first become unsafe, unavailable, or conditional? Now, here what may happen is you get a memory of you as a child, or it could be a metaphor, a symbol, a colour, a feeling. Because the unconscious works in different ways to the conscious, it's not logic. And here I just see a small girl, and that girl is me. And I'm just learning to start to walk. I'm walking. So I'd probably say that's probably about a year old, or even before that. When did love first become unsafe, unavailable, or conditional? And just breathe into it. Now, is there a part of you that confuses love with sacrifice, silence, or survival? And ask them which one. Could be all three. Mine is survival. Yes, survival. And as you say, you're just listening at this stage. So what does this part believe happens when you're truly emotionally seen? What does this part believe? What happens when you're truly emotional? When you're seen? And ask yourself, is that true? So mine was, you get reprimanded, beat up, scolded. When asked, is that true? It was, No. Some years maybe yes. So if you've got an invisibility or fear of invisibility, or visibility, not visibility, if you've got a fear of visibility, of being seen, just this pattern here could be the thing that's stopping you from being seen. We're going deeper, we're going into love and relationships. And here you're just going to name the part. There could be more than one part here. So mine is definitely the inner child, who I call Safety Sienna. Beautiful. And my nervous system, nervous Nora is what I call my nervous system, because we have all these different parts. I mean, I have huge entanglement parts. That is, when you connect to these parts, there's a refreshing inner peace feeling because those parts are finally being listened to. So, name the parts. And it's okay if no naming's coming in or no parts coming in, because maybe this is the very first time that you've done parts work. That's okay, as long as you've got a part, you've had answers. Even if those answers are no. Even if you haven't connected to the part, trust me, they're listening. And is there any other part that fears love and closeness? And just ask who? Who is that part? And you can just keep asking yes or no, but I'll let you do that for time's sake here. We must go on. So thank the parts for coming up. And what I want you to do is I just want you to say, amazing. You have done an absolutely amazing job because you've kept me safe all these years. Thank you. And just see those parts or feel those parts even. And you may feel an emotional charge going here. You could also, these parts could be tied to ancestral memory, trauma-linked survival love. Just be aware of that. And now we're going to start a dialogue with these parts. And you're going to just ask, what does this part need to feel safe in intimacy? What does that part need? Now, if you've had more than one parts coming forward, ask the question to each one. Listen to one part at a time. And if you need to stop this recording to do that with those parts, do so. What does this part need to feel safe in intimacy? Beautiful. And just keep it as a part. What does that part need to feel safe and intimacy? And again, you may just get images coming through, feelings, words, colors, even. What I'm getting here that love and wealth are the same energy. There is no separation. So it needs regulated. That's my nervous Nora. Amazing how we work, isn't it? And my feminine part, she needs self-love. She needs more self-love. Beautiful. So just thank them. Listen. Every time you're listening to those parts, thank them. So ask those parts as a whole. What boundaries does it need to feel respected without shutting others out? What boundaries does it need to feel respected without shutting others out? And what could also happen here is you could actually feel like there's a flush, there's a nervous energy. Like I'm getting a hot flush. I know there's something working here because I'm listening. I'm getting a hot flush. You could go cold. You could feel an energy like around the head area, around the energy centers. You could feel that it could be a heaviness or a charge in the power center, in the heart. There's no right or wrong. Sometimes you feel it somatically, you feel it in the body. What boundaries does it need to feel respected without shutting others out? Mine is when I say no, it means no, and not to feel bad about it. Isn't that interesting? Let me know in the comments what was yours. Because it's always good to get that out there as well. Now, if this part, if these parts could rewrite its story about love, what would it choose instead? What would it choose instead? Beautiful. Mine is play, laugh, be adventurous, and enjoy. Because you can rewrite your love and relationship story. But there's also a gift of where you're at just now. So what part is this part trying to offer by staying guarded? What is the gift? Usually that gift is something completely different to what you think. What is the gift by staying guarded? My gift is I'm safe. Safety. Protected. Beautiful. Is there a better way? No. And they're all shouting, yes, of course there is. Of course there is. Yes. So what is that better way? To be something as simple as to be more open. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, we all have, so we'll have all these parts. And then we have a subconscious command center. Now, the subconscious command center, nothing will change unless that subconscious command center is willing to help to release the false identities around love. The ones that are saying that love equals pain or abandonment or betrayal. So we're asking the subconscious command center to come online. And you're just asking, are you willing to release the false identities around love? I just got yes. Especially the ones that say love when I'm loved, when I see love. All I get is pain, abandonment, betrayal. Can you release them now? Yes. Now, some of you may get no, and that's okay. There may be other questions that you need to ask before you get that yes. So if that's the case and you've got a no, please put in the comments and I can give you a list of more questions that you need to ask your parts before you can get that yes. So just tell me in the comments, just say, yes, I need the questions. Now, if you've got a yes, you're going to ask the subconscious control center, command center, is it now safe to be loved? Is it now safe to be held, adored, and supported? I get a big fat yes. Now, you don't need anything more than just what you get. And now we're going to recode. What truth about love are you ready to embody now? In every cell, every timeline, in every memory. What truth about love are you ready to embody now? And it could be something as we're safe. So we're going to declare whatever it is that you need to embody. And whilst you're declaring it, use the Stevening technique of just as if you're giving yourself a big hug as you say these words. By the power of the sovereign soul and sacred guides, and now recode my relationship to love. I receive love freely. I express love boldly. I hold love with reverence and ease. I'm safe to be loved for who I truly am. And just sit in that new emotional, energetic coding, and you should feel lighter. And what I would do here also is I would invite your spirit team in here to wrap their field in unconditional love, where there is no separation. And just breathe that unconditional love in. And what's the best way is to practice this love. An optional daily practice for you is to use the mirror. And you just look in the mirror. I am loved. I am seen and chosen just as I am. And just give yourself the biggest hug. Yeah. And just ask those parts of you, what kind of love do I deserve? And am I allowing it in? Those parts, what kind of love do I deserve? I got all encompassing. Bring it on, I say. And how are you allowing it in? Yes. And then just one hand over the heart, one hand over the womb, and just breathe into that daily. Because what you're doing is you're just training your nervous system that it's actually safe for that love. You got to give it yourself first and foremost. Yeah. And as I said, if you need more of the questions, you got to know partway through, and you need more of the questions to just really ask that love part, those parts that are keeping that love, keeping you guarded. Yeah, just let me know. Say yes. Questions. I would like the questions. And if you've been looping or waiting for someone to tell you that you're ready, let this be it. Because you're not broken. You're not blocked. You're just remembering. And you're allowed to receive. Your system is absolutely brilliant. Give it that gratitude of being so brilliant. But what it's doing is just coming from outmoded, outworn belief systems. And if you want to go further with the belief systems, check out Belief Codex on Varney.com. Yeah? Because next week, we're going to go even deeper. And next week, we're going to go into spiritual wealth and receiving, not just for money, not just abundance, because that's what everybody seems to think when they think of wealth, but what it really means to hold more light, more power, more truth in your body, without leaking, without chasing, and without burning out. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Or share with someone who's ready to get honest about healing. You know what healing really is. And remember, this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about letting go of everything that told you couldn't be who you are. See you next week. Bye-bye.